decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. And hey, we see all our folks here joining us. We got something really, really special going on tonight here at the Big Boneyard. In fact, just to sort of get right to it, Archbishop, sir, if you could help us out with our doggone disclaimer, sir.
Okay, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for coming out. Let's do the disclaimer. First things first, this is our opinions and our opinions alone. It has nothing to do with our respective clubs or anything like that. This is strictly our opinions based on the information and the facts gathered through statistics and scientific research.
Yeah, and we definitely got some stuff. We definitely got some stuff to talk it up, to chop it up about tonight for sure. So first of all, hey, Boneheads, welcome to the Big Boneyard again, man. We see Big Red, we see Stacy, we see Asia out there, Heather. Look, all of y'all, hey, strap your seatbelts, put on the seatbelts and all like that, because we're going to get it in. First of all, I want to welcome our guest, doggone Tone Poley, who is with Renegades Against Predators. Tone, thank you for being here, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, and for those of y'all don't know, Tone is doing some very, very impressive work. And let me see if I can just find this thing that I can see if I can find this joint to share with y'all. But long story short, what we're talking about tonight, I'm not even going to read the thing. I'm just going to tell you. There's an epidemic going on in the United States of America, and it is related to human trafficking. There's a lot of different types of human trafficking. Some folks are being grabbed up and made to work in hotels and all like that. And some people even out in the forest working at logging camps and all this kind of stuff. And while all of that stuff is bad, we're primarily talking about human sexual trafficking of women, children. That's girls and boys. And it's going on all over North America, other places too, but we're talking about home because, North America is home to us. I talked to some brothers in Canada earlier. They're concerned just like we are stateside. But anyway, I guess just to get us going, I'm going to say a couple little things. I had to write some of this stuff down, and it was troublesome. We learned a lot of just in the research for this show. Archbishop got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff. So human trafficking, what is that? And everybody thinks they know what it is. And like we said, there's a lot of different versions of it, but we're talking about women and kids who are abducted, taken from where they live and, where they owe rent, like my mother used to say, taken somewhere else, made to do things that they don't want to do. A lot of times it's sexual, and it's heartbreaking. We know that port states, states like Florida, like Michigan, like California, some of these states where there's ports, boats going in and out, port states for some reason it's a big deal. They do a lot of trafficking in those areas. We found out, Tone, what you told me, I don't want to say it because I know some folks from that state, but where did you say was the #1 state for trafficking right now?
Now it's Ohio. The top 5 states in the country, it goes California, Texas, Florida, Michigan, Ohio. The reason why Ohio is because it's a big hub from transporting to Canada, to Michigan, all the way down to separate places from the East Coast to the West Coast, Southeast and Southwest. So a lot of things come from there and export. A lot of the hotels in Ohio have been investigated.
All right.
But they're running down that I-75 corridor.
Yeah.
The I-75 runs north and south all the way down. So
that's a part of it. I'm glad you mentioned the I-75 corridor because that's something I know we're going to talk about that a little bit is in regard to where are these folks? Like, where are they taking them? How are they getting them to where? How do they get them into Canada is a thing, because that's a thing that's going on a lot. We talked about that in the some of the pre-production, some of the pre-shows in our meetings and stuff. And we know that they're taking these kids, like in particular, little black kids, little Spanish kids, and also in the Native American, where the indigenous tribes are. Folks are taking these people, and they don't have the resources to follow up or to find out where where that abducted loved one has gone. I'm talking women and kids, and they're finding them in Canada. So who the hell knows how that works? But so there's that. Also, we know in our state of Florida, we have an issue, or that's come up a time or two. We know that it's been suggested that there's a level of corruption that you were talking about earlier, Tone. What was that about?
Okay, look, a lot of things. If you see what goes on, okay, remember the whole drug trafficking. Okay, for every one boat that they stop, and this is in similarity to humans. For every one boat they used to stop at drugs, they used to let 15 boats go by, or 15 things go by. The government officials statistically, and public servants, well being the police and a lot of public servants within our cities, are very involved with the bad side of human trafficking. There are those that are good. There are those that are running a good movement. They are running in their trafficking SWAT teams, but there's a heavy poison within our government officials and our public servants, which would be the police, the DEA, all that stuff. They're one of the biggest reasons why trafficking just gets let go in this country.
Gotcha. So y'all might be wondering why we're talking about human trafficking on the big boneyard, right? And so we're going to tell you. So here's the thing. Bikers are everywhere. Y'all all seen those bumper stickers, like be careful while you're driving, don't hit a biker. Bikers are everywhere. Well, bikers are actually everywhere. All of the places, which me and Archbishop are going to kind of cover some of that, but all of these places where these bikers are, or where these abducted people are, where they have them working and everything else, bikers are there. We're in a lot of places where normal society is not. Archbishop, what I know you were doing some research on this. What you came up with, brother?
Well, it's just crazy because as I was reading, but I think at first let's kind of go back a step, to the people that really wasn't informed about this, to kind of tell you exactly what it is that we're going at here, because some people, like, you hear about human trafficking, but do you really fully understand what that means? So think about it. So human trafficking is a form of modern slavery that occurs in every state, but we got 5 states in particular that's been the most. So these victims occur from, you got young children, teenagers, adults, boys, and girls. Okay. But there are many victims of trafficking that falls up under, you have people that they call master manipulators. And those manipulators will get this information, try to find out this information about certain people, and use that information for manipulation, coercion, and get them to where they feel, special or wanted, And you got to think a lot of these teenagers, for instance, these ones that get picked up is usually the ones that are in, one parent families. They're alone a lot of times, and they're looking for that male figure or whatever to step in and actually, be a friend to them, listen to them, hear them out. And that's where these people come in, because they've watched them, they've done their investigation on them, and then they slowly pull them in, just listening to them, give them a little bit of advice here and here, and be like, hey, I'm here whenever you need me, come through. You become that friend to them that they trust, and then they use that trust that's built up to take advantage.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I was, I'd heard about some of this stuff, but then as I delved into more of it, I was surprised to find out, one of the things I was wondering, well, how are they doing this? And of course, there's some folks that are literally just abducted. There's that. But then some of these folks are coerced into this because, some slick talking so-and-so is like, baby, 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 I love you, talking to some 14-year-old girl. And he tells her, hey, if you love me and you want to be a part of our family, get this tattoo. Y'all might have noticed on the thumbnail, there was a picture of a girl showing the tattoo on the back of her neck, and it was a barcode. And that barcode is a way that signifies to other people in that industry that this girl's for sale, or she might be for rent. Now, she just thinks that she's trying to be a part of the family, but next thing you know, she's in a hotel somewhere, she's in a strip club somewhere. But and speaking of which, so types of trafficking, kind of jumped on this. There's healthcare, which you have these people working in nursing homes and all this kind of stuff. You wouldn't know it, but somebody's making them work there. Not like they don't want to be there working, 75, 85 hours a week or longer. But then you got forestry and logging, carnivals. Like, we all go to the carnival. You wouldn't even think about it. Carnivals. You got little kids and women being forced to work in these carnivals because the carnivals are moving from town to town to town, and they got them doing some of everything. They're working the carnival rides, and they're working the back room. They're doing all kinds of stuff to make money for someone who is managing or really manipulating them and trafficking them. Then you got the webcam, some of them webcam girls. Many of them are not old enough to be doing any of that, but there's somebody somewhere who's got them locked up somewhere doing all of that. Then there's factory workers. Drug dealers will get some little young 12, 13, 14-year-old girl, force her into doing all of those things, sexual things, make her sell drugs and everything else. If she gets pinched, so what? She's a 12-year-old. She's expendable. He's keeping his ass out of jail by forcing that little girl to front for him. So there's that. Then there's the hotel workers. Obviously, there's prostitution and the massage parlors, the traveling sales crew. Of course, there's pornography, bars, strip clubs, residential maids working in somebody's house somewhere is being forced to be there because the people that own that house paid a bunch of money for someone to come there that they do not pay every week. They paid for that person to be there, and that's the last time they exchanged any money. Then there's of course the escort services and like that. So I'm saying this kind of stuff to let y'all understand the magnitude of what this human trafficking is. But of course, again, we're going to try to focus on the sexual exploitation of these women and children. But I was going to ask you, man, Tony. So tell us about your journey. Like, how did you get started doing this?
All right. Okay. Emotional moment. Okay. So 4 months ago, Auntie Cubana, she's really like my auntie. Okay. I met her 3 years ago on this app, and she's literally saved my life. She's one of the reasons I'm alive today. She helped me through my recovery and everything. And she had me doing shadow work. So shadow work is involving dealing with yourself, your personal traumas and everything. Well, there was something I've been suppressed for years, is that my uncle did something to me as a child. He kind of took my innocence, and the pain started getting way too much. And me being in recovery, me doing that, what do we go to when we're in pain? We go to that thing that messes our life up. So instead of doing that, I turned my pain into power. I started studying. I started volunteering at trafficking awareness centers. I finally had enough, and I started RAP, Renegades Against Predators, because I know the trauma I went through. I do not want another woman or child going through that trauma. And I want to protect. And one of the biggest things about protecting is protecting our youth, because without our youth, we have no future in this country. We have no future in this country. So my pain turned into power. And now I'll be damned if I let this keep going, because one small group of people can make a big impact. I just got RAP off the ground. It's a couple months old. I'm still working a lot of kinks. I have a lot of people in different states that are actually willing to help. I vet them in, and they're willing to help set up decoys, know about your public officials and all that. I just want to help suppress this pain. And I want I want people to really understand that we have a big problem in this country, and we need to start standing up, because if we don't, we're going to be generationless. We are. We're going to have no generation. That's how it is.
Wow.
Right on.
Got a question. Now, you know, you were just saying a few minutes ago about the decoys and stuff like that. Kind of give them a little bit of history as a, well, not really history, but just kind of like the steps, like what really goes on when they put out these decoys. Now, I've seen on times on shows and stuff like that where they did it like on the internet, and they, you know, they had like different guys just chiming in thinking that this is a young girl or whatever, and just, you know, just luring them to a house. When they show up at the house, and then the police is they're waiting for them. But what are some of the other things that they're doing to be able to catch these guys in the act?
One of the biggest things is what you mentioned. Our biggest problem that we have with our younger children right now is social media. Okay. Social media apps, Tinder, Meet Me, WhatsApp, even TikTok, even Facebook, Instagram. All these things have to deal with human trafficking. The reason why is because a young girl can be dazzled by somebody. You know what I'm saying? You said that, Big Bone, about like a young child being bedazzled by a man that's paying attention. So what do? You start setting up decoys on these apps, the Tinder, the Meet Me, the WhatsApps. You start setting up these decoys, and you play the position. You play the position of a young man or a young girl. Now in this city, I got 3 people, which is 19, 20, and 23. They both look very young, and they all talk very young. And they're actually starting to set up decoys on everywhere from Roblox video game to Tinder to Meet Me. And it's like the decoy status. The decoy status is really dangerous because what they want to do is they want to see your profile picture. They want to see what you hear. Well, they want to hear what you sound like, because they want to match the face with the picture. So I do have a lot of younger people. But they're in their early 18, 19, and 20 phases that are out there. Okay, I'll give them an old PFP of me, profile picture of me. You know what I'm saying? And we'll start doing it. I, in fact, had my second hit with a decoy that we're fishing in right now. And one of them is a leader of a church.
Wow.
Mm. Now you was
problem we have too is churches. We'll get to that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was when I was on your TikTok, you was talking about one that was I guess the guy was on those sites and was pulling like different girls off of there. And then it was an issue where I guess this guy and the police was kind of involved with each other in some kind of way. Am I correct by that?
You're correct.
Okay. So what exactly was going on there? I mean, like, so was this guy kind of related to somebody who was a cop, or was it something that they were like Engelmeter with, and they were both involved with doing
in the
stuff?
middle?
I mean,
in the middle with. So the 6th, the 4th, and the 11th precinct here. I'm a few months ago, I made a TikTok on my old account that used to be big, and I got permanently banned. I wonder why. So I talked about the 4th precinct in Detroit, Michigan. And I was literally saying they're being investigated. There's people who used to work there that I knew personally that know these people, these police officers and these younger cops that are under investigation for human trafficking. Now, in the vicinity of that guy, Alberto Rodriguez, the one I made the video about. He's very close to the 11th precinct. He's been let go of multiple crimes. Like I said in the video, he's been let go by that precinct multiple times. So when you put 1 and 1 together, you know something is going on. Like they say, signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. So you got to start putting these puzzle pieces. Why do they keep letting this man go? And he should be already locked up to 7 to 20 years at minimum, 7 to 20 years.
Right.
And they keep letting this man go. So the further you investigate, the further you see, these police are in on this shit. These government officials are in on this shit because he was transporting from Detroit to Canada. Now, you can pay off people at the border. You know that. Right. They have tunnel systems from Canada to Michigan. They're very smart when it comes to this. And that's what he got penned up for. And he met them all off of Tinder apps, Meet Me apps, all them apps. There's a story on there. I don't know, Bishop, if you've seen the young lady talking that knew the guy. I don't know if you've seen that video. She stitched my video and she was about to be one of the victims. She knew this man.
Hey, Tone, for
Oh,
anybody
wow.
watching, we want them to be able to get some of this info that you put out on the regular. What's your socials, man?
My socials is Renegades Against Predators.
Okay, is that on TikTok?
Yes, that's TikTok.
Okay, Renegades Against Predators on TikTok. All right.
Yeah. Or Razzle Dazzle
Yeah.
God, because I use the Acrobassel.
Right.
God is spelled GAWD, all together. Razzle Dazzle God.
Okay, gotcha. Well, man, I'll tell you, one of the things that I was looking at, and again, this ties into what's going on with us bikers a lot, because again, we see everything. So bikers, if you're listening, you're out there, here's people that are vulnerable to being trafficked, people in unstable living conditions or unstable living situations. You know who that is, or you know it when you see it. Somebody who's previously dealt with violence or sexual abuse, domestic violence. Those people are more susceptible to this happening to them. Runaways, like kids in the child welfare system or foster kids like that, they're very vulnerable to this happening. Undocumented anybody that's undocumented, because it's much more difficult to trace and follow and figure out where the heck these people are. In fact, sometimes we understand that predators target those groups specifically because of that very reason. They actually will bring those folks in from other countries because of the fact that, hey, they're undocumented. Something happens, who's going to even know who it is? People that are poverty stricken, because even here in the United States right now in 2023, there's people that are starving. There's people that are hungry. There's people that are poor, broke, down and out. That makes them more susceptible to somebody coming with some kind of rap that they're going to fall for because they're desperate. So caregivers, like if you've got some kid who has a foster parent that's on drugs, something might happen. An older person, that person's on drugs, that's a different thing. But a caregiver who has a drug problem, that's one of the perfect examples or the perfect situation for somebody to be taken advantage of, sometimes without them even being able to having to leave the home, because the caregiver is the one that's over them and they can bring all of that drama into that child's home. If that individual, let's say they're a little older, a teenager, they could be addicted to drugs themselves, and that leads down a bad road. Next thing you know, they've got that tattoo on their neck or something else. Also, along with the tattoo on the neck, there's also, or the barcode tattoo, there's also where it's not uncommon for a trafficker to put his name or his nickname or the name of his crew tattooed on one of those women or one of those kids, so that anybody who sees that, just like you brand cattle, they want, hey, that one belongs to so-and-so. That one belongs to this guy over here. That's a way that that's communication in that underworld environment that they're in. Marginalized communities. So when I say marginalized communities, I'm talking about specifically Native people, indigenous people. That's been going on. I think somebody mentioned, it might have been Cinderella that said that, no, Heather said that it's been going on for decades, and it has. So marginalized communities like Native folks, Blacks and Latinos, little kids, these Black kids and these Latino kids are getting grabbed up a lot, and it does not get the attention that it needs. But for us bikers, we're going to talk about in just a little bit, we're going to talk about red flags, like how to identify when that's happening. Before we do, Tone, I wanted to ask you, because not that long ago, bro, you actually rescued 3 women. Man, bro, tell us about it. I'm going to shut the hell up, but tell us about that, because that thing blows my mind when I heard about it.
All right. So a couple weeks now. I'm from Southwest Detroit. Okay, Southwest is a melting pot. It's, you know what I'm saying, Black, Latino, you know what I'm saying, white people. It's very diverse in Southwest Detroit. It's one of the most diverse areas. When I was in active addiction, I used to use it some. Okay. I get a call a couple weeks ago from a lady I used to go out there and use with. She's an addict. She's still kind of out there. She follows me on TikTok still. I love her half to death. I talked to her to help her out. But she calls me, she goes, Tone, we have a situation. And I was like, well, what's the situation? She's like, I see three young girls going in and out of this hotel room. And she said there's two men that have been going in and out for the last day. And I believe these two men are trafficking these young girls. Okay. I had a couple of my brothers from Southwest, not really with me, but they're with me. You know what I'm saying? They're with me.
Right on.
I had them do intel for about a day and a half. They called me and said, look, Tone, when these guys leave, I seen them. I know what they look like, the full description. When these two men leave, we're going to go to this hotel room. I'm going to have my boy pick you up and we're going to go there. Okay, cool. Well, they found out when they left. When they left, we went right up there. We hit up the door. My homegirl acted like she was going to get dope from them. They opened up the door and we snatched them up and grabbed them.
Right.
One of my friends, he works with a local force, the human trafficking force. It's kind of like independent though. So he snatched them. He brought them to another precinct that he knows about. It's the 6th. Okay. The 6th precinct. They've been helping out. They've got a lot of missing Black children and they found them in that city. And the lieutenant there, he's a really good guy because his daughter got trafficked 12 years ago. So he's very adamant about this. So we took them there and we saved their lives. One was 14, the other one was 17, the other one was 15.
Wow. Not one of them old enough to vote.
And one of them, and they were all young Black women. All young Black women.
No, young Black girls. Those are girls. They're not even women yet.
Yeah, young Black girls. Yes, young Black girls. And it hurt because I can't see how somebody could do something to these young Black girls, to these young girls.
Yeah.
Even young boys, they're doing this too. But seeing the pain in their face, but seeing the relief that they might actually be saved. We are doing updates on them. I have a friend that's working on it to do updates with them. They're all in a homeless shelter away from Detroit towards Saginaw, Michigan. They relocated them over there. I keep an update every 2 days, see how they're doing. And so far they're doing okay. One of them was from Mississippi. Wasn't even from here.
Wow.
Oh,
And they're bringing her back. They're bringing her back to her parents. I'm going to be covering that story too. They're going to bring her back to her parents. She's been missing for 11 months.
Man, keep us in the loop on that, man, because for those of us, I know for the boneheads out there and me and Archbishop, brother, we want to hear about that. We want to hear, how that whole thing is developing. But that's wild, man. That's wild. And congratulations to you, man. And big ups to you, man, for getting out there and doing your thing, because somebody's got to do it. And, we know if there's an issue with the police and the government being a part of it, maybe they're getting some money to look the other way and all like that. Guess what? We don't have to. We can do our thing. We can knock on the door. We can pay attention. Like I said before, man, we're some of everywhere. We're some of everywhere. So we have the opportunity that, again, a lot of folks don't. But having said that, I throw out some red flags. So red flags so we keep talking about bikers and this human trafficking thing, because I just can't say it enough, man. We're some of everywhere. It's a lot of us. You might be riding on your way to work one day. Yeah, and all of y'all know when you ride a motorcycle, you can see stuff on a bike that you're not going to see or pay attention to when you're in your car, right? We're going to go to places where a lot of times you don't go in your car. We're going to be at some bars. We're going to be at some strip clubs. We're going to, some people might accidentally find themselves at a seedy motel. We might be any number of places. The thing is, though, is that we can, bikers are smart. We can pay attention. So red flags. So the biggest thing is, and this is the part that people actually miss, human trafficking can happen in plain sight. In plain sight. It's not like you don't ever see these women. It's not like you don't ever see these kids, because they move them around and so forth. You'll see them. They might be in a store. They might be anywhere, but we got to know what to look for. Having said that, so where they're staying, if you know that there's a house of what they used to call it the house of ill repute, a brothel, right? If they're staying in a brothel and they never leave, or they come outside maybe to smoke a cigarette, maybe, like, but they never actually go anywhere. Okay, now that's the time where they're not going anywhere. Hey, that's kind of funny. Does this 14-year-old girl have agoraphobia and she's scared to leave the house? Probably not. She's probably being forced to stay there. Could be, but use your common sense. You can figure it out. Massage parlors. There's massage parlors that the women go in there, they work in there, they eat in there, they sleep in there, they everything in there. They never freaking leave. And if you're one of them dudes who might go to the Jack Shack and you see some mattresses and so forth in the back, or you see some people who look like, damn, do you live here? Yeah, they probably do. So get plugged into that. Like, if you see something, say something. We have the National Human Trafficking Hotline scrolling on the ticker tape right now. It's 1-888-373-7888. So everybody take that number down. Oh, also like, subscribe, share, do that because this is important stuff. But the phone number is right there. So write that down, throw it in your saddlebag, put it in the pocket on your vest jacket or something, do that. Another thing, so kids that ran away can easily become victims of forced child labor or sexual exploitation. A lot of times they're coming from an abusive home or foster care. And those kids, unfortunately, too many times get written off. They just, the kid ran away. No, the kid didn't necessarily run away. Sometimes they did. But guess what? They're still kids, man. They're still kids. So any of us out there, you see some kid and you start seeing these red flags, one of those things is to look for physical abuse. Like if that kid or that woman, maybe you see her a time or two, she's always got a busted eye or hunched over because somebody busted her ribs or any of this kind of stuff. If she's in need of physical attention, or if that kid is in need of physical attention, we got all these Karens wondering about what the hell black people are doing. Hey, Karens, how about y'all Karens start worrying about these little kids? Worry about that shit. Stop worrying about what the hell I'm doing when I go to get me a damn snow cone from Walmart or something. Fuck that. Watch out for these people that are in trouble. That's something you can do. Malnourished. You see some little kid that's way skinnier than he's supposed to be for his age and his size, or you see some woman who looks like she's starving, and she probably is. Give that some attention. So signs of physical abuse, being beat up. If you see one of these people, you think something's funny going on with them, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But if that woman or that kid avoids eye contact, avoids people, tries to stay, to themselves as much as they can in social interaction situations, they don't do eye contact. They see the police and they want to get the hell out of there. It's not necessarily because they committed a crime. It's because their handlers told them, I'm going to beat you to damn death if you have interaction with the police. Talk to the police and I'll kill you. So that's something they got to deal with, right? One of the big ones, not that everybody has the opportunity to figure this out, but no official identification, no driver's license, no library card, no freaking, no school ID, no nothing, right? Those people, that's a big red flag. We talked about the tattoos and the barcode, and again, that barcode, if you see that barcode, that's a big one. The barcode, or you see some name talking about the Dino Brown crew, and she's 12. Maybe a 12-year-old shouldn't have a tattoo of any kind, right? But that's what that is. It's signifying that somebody owns her, or at least they think they own her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But anyway, let me shut up for a second.
Bone? We can, yes, sir. But what you can also add on there, like what we're talking about now, is the stuff that happens after they've been abducted, picked up, lured, whatever. So let's go back and let's talk about what happens before this takes place. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because there's 4 steps that goes on. And it could be some people right now that's actually going through these steps and not even realizing that this is what this really is. You know what I mean? Because these steps here is what lures them to this part here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, so
Yes.
you got to have this before you have this. So there's 4 steps. Okay. So you have the luring, you have the coercion and manipulation, the grooming and gaming, and then the overall
Yeah.
exploitation. Okay. So let's go back to the luring. Okay. So the luring is basically where these guys is out just looking for the right person, the right the right person to pick. And if you've been noticing here lately, they've been showing stuff on social media. They've been showing stuff on the news about people, for instance, like putting zip ties on the car door, or
Yeah.
putting some kind of chemical the door handle. So when the female touches it, it knocks them out. Putting stuff on the windshield. So when they get out the car to take it off the windshield, they're getting abducted and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but on the other end, on the luring part, you have people which we call these master manipulators or whatever, and they get these girls, you know, whether they're online talking to them and whatnot,
Yeah.
they basically baiting these girls. Okay, so they go on there and they make them feel like that they're, you know, that they're the right man for them. You know what I mean? They make them feel comfortable.
Mhm.
They're trying to find out everything that they need to find out about them. They're, you know, kind of, they'll do little stuff here and there, just trying to test their vulnerability. You know what I mean?
Yes.
See where their
Yes.
boundaries were, how far they can go, how far they can't go. Okay, so then you go down to the grooming and the gaming part, which I found that was interesting because it says here that on the grooming and gaming, it has them feeling like, has the female feeling like as though she's like in love with this person that's online. Okay, so
Right.
this guy's like promising her family, homes, etc., makes her feel special, and then they like slowly start introducing them to like drugs here and there. You know,
Yeah.
not a lot, but just a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? That's where the control part starts at, is like right doing that grooming and gaming part, you know what I mean? Testing the
Yeah.
boundaries and seeing how far they're gonna go and whatnot. Okay, so then you move to the coercion and the manipulation. So what happens during that time? Okay, the guy starts sending missed signals. Um, does the withdrawal stage, you know what I mean? So then
Right.
at this point, the girl's feeling like, okay, like, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? What is it I can do to make this better? So she's more open
Mhm.
to do what you need her to do. You know what I mean? And at
Right.
that point, that's when you can that's when you can start drawing her in, you know what I mean? Because now she feels like as though she owes you. You know what I mean? That she has to do this for you because, you know, you've been there, you've done this, you've done that, and she don't want to lose you.
Right.
So of course she's gonna open up and be more susceptible to do what you want her to do.
Right.
Then that's when the exploitation comes into it. You know what I mean? So you gotta think there's young girls, young women out there right now that's going through these steps right now and not even realizing that this is what's going on. You know what I mean? They have this thing set up in their mind as like as though, okay, you know, met this guy on on Tinder or WhatsApp or whatever, and they're saying the right things, and you know what I mean. And of course, you going right for it because everybody has that person in the back of their mind that they want.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like this is how you want your relationship to be. This is how you want things to happen. And you got people like this is basically selling you a pipe dream. They telling you all this, and they feeding you with it, but they have another motive behind it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
See, that's part
now
of the deal, though,
I don't
is
think
that
I think with this,
no,
hold on a
go ahead.
minute,
I'm
one,
sorry.
one more thing. You know, like when we first started hearing about this, you know, you may have heard it on the mainstream media every now and again, every now and again,
Right.
but not often. It wasn't like something that was always on there all the time. You didn't really start hearing about the exploitation of these women until you had like the Jeffrey Epstein situation,
Yeah. Yeah.
where all those women start coming forward talking about all the stuff that was going on and being picked up in all these different states and lured to this island and all this other stuff. That's when you actually started hearing about that. But then
Yeah.
you only heard about it for a brief segment, and then they shut it down. You know what I mean? So one of the questions that I was going to ask Tone is, this is something that needs to come out and needs to hit the masses, but it needs to hit it to the point that everybody fully understands, what I mean, that there's extra stuff that everybody can do to keep this from happening, whether that's screening these emails that your kids is getting, what I mean, monitoring what they put now on social media, putting
Yeah.
parental guards on different stuff to keep these, and then as a neighborhood, how we were talking about before, how, when we were younger growing up, the community was more balanced. Everybody watched out for everybody's kids. You know what I mean? If you done something down the street, the old lady down the street was gonna beat your ass, and then she was gonna send you home, but she didn't already call, so you got another ass with them when you got to the house. Everybody
Right.
watched each other. You know what I mean? Everybody raised each other's kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's
village,
something
the
that has
village.
to come back into play now. Right. I think we need to be more aware and like stop turning a blind eye to something simply because I don't know who that is, or that's not my business, or I don't want to be involved. You know what I mean? Because that could be the last time that you ever see that person again because you turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah. That's why I was saying all these damn Karens out here worrying about who's having the barbecue or why that guy with the good tan just moved into that house. How about you do something to help the damn community? And I don't imagine we got too many Karens to watch this show, but if you know a Karen or two, put that bitch on a different task, give her something else to do, something that's going to help some folks,
I got an auntie named Karen. She a cool ass lady. No, but
Right on.
so this is the problem. This is the problem that we're having. And I'm gonna say this because eventually I was gonna say it. One, I want to say the MCs here in Detroit, the clubs here in Detroit, the bikers here in Detroit are awesome. They're trying to do their due diligence. Like you said, there's conflict here and there with MCs, but bikers, one of the strongest people that can get a hold of this and start attaching to this and helping, because the bulldog mentality that MCs have is very needed. This isn't a nice business. This just isn't a nice advocacy. You have to get deep into it. And people like MCs are strong. They have strength in numbers, and they have compassion and love for their brothers, their fellow brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can transcend into love for the community. Now, this is the thing, and I'm going to say this and be very transparent. I know it sucks right now, but with human trafficking, this is a humanity issue. Okay?
Right.
Not right, not left, not red, not blue. This is a humanity issue. You put away your political stance to help these kids. Now, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm a leftist. Okay? I'm very far left, but do you know that?
I'm just playing. Just playing. Just playing. Go ahead.
Never liked you guys, but but I have so many conservative friends that are on the same track as me, because we can have the old Mitt Romney discussion. When the Democrats and Republicans used to be cool with each other.
Yeah.
We talk to each other. We have discourse. I'll be 43 this month. Okay. Yeah. I grew up talking about stuff. And this is a discussion that we have to have. I don't care if you vote for this man. What are you going to do for our children? How are you going to spread awareness for these women and children? 70% of trafficking victims are women. Okay. 41% out of that 70 is anywhere from 9 to 17 years old.
Wow.
9 to 17 years old. And that's the problem that we have. We're battling each other at the same time they laugh at us taking our youth away from us.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about Epstein, Bishop. You talked about Epstein, right?
Gates.
Okay, now look, Monday, I'll send you both the link. Okay, I'll send you both the link. I got to get it in my phone. Jeremy Kyle. Look him up and just Google Jeremy Kyle's Ghislaine Maxwell interview. Monday, he's interviewing her from her prison cell.
Wow.
And she's going to drop Prince Andrew. She's going to drop a lot of people. See, the thing is,
they'll kill her. Dude, they'll kill her before she gets a chance to say a word.
It's tomorrow, 7 p.m. So we'll see.
They're going to have to kill her soon.
She disappeared. So this is the thing. See, there's never a black book. That flight log is their black book. Just like the lady I said, 2A Patriot Mama. She said, we've been staring at that black book the whole time.
Wow.
That black book is the flight log's that black book. Them people, they didn't go there to play golf. You know what I'm saying? They did they did some really disrespectful shit. But it's like, and I have to argue with both sides of this. Quit asking for these big names, these elites, these celebrities, and we got to worry about the internal population. We got to worry about us internally in our community.
Right.
We're not going to be able to battle elites and go take them off of the grid. No, we got to worry about our home. And we need to come the fuck together, because if we don't come together, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be worse and worse.
Well, see, that's the thing. And that's one of the things that, because Archbishop, he tells me all the time, he goes, hey, stay the hell off of politics. Don't bring it to this shit. He says all the time. And I try to do good. But in this case, thank God, this is literally one of those things where politics has nothing to do with it. It don't matter whether you're left, right, in the middle, black, white, or fucking plaid. We need to take care of our own folks, our women, our children. That's the little girls and little boys, and they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And the cool thing about bikers, and Tone, I know you know a little something about this, but for those boneheads out there, y'all know how we get down. Bikers, we take care of the kids. There's a group like BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. They get it in. You know, they do their thing. Let me be specific. The official line is BACA is gonna, when a child is going through sexual abuse or those sort of things, they're gonna show up to that kid's house. They're gonna take him to court. They're gonna take him to school. They're gonna back him up when he goes to court to face his accuser. You got 20, 30 freaking big burly bikers who's like, nobody's gonna hurt you no more. We got you, right? They do that, and allegedly, sometimes other things. But BACA, that's Bikers Against Child Abuse. They're great. And in fact, they were asking, they want to be on the next time we do one of these shows, they want to be a part of the conversation because they're a big part of the solution. But as well, as great as BACA is, that doesn't mean that the rest of us can't get plugged in. If every biker out there starts paying attention, and I'm not saying every single one of us is going to find somebody doing something, but if it's only one or two of us every now and then, we're helping some folks. You know, we're helping some women, we're helping some kids. That's what we got to do. We cannot. And I don't give a damn if I talk too much or whatever. That's not important. What is important is this mission right here, right now. We have got to take care of ourselves. And that don't just have to be men. Women, y'all are out there riding motorcycles too. You know, it's a ton of women. We see women on this channel every friggin' week. And y'all ride motorcycles and y'all get out there. I don't give a damn if you're in your car. Get out there, pay attention. Some people need your help. People need your help.
And they have a couple other groups out there. They have the was it BAT? That's Bikers Against Trafficking. Yeah. They also have one dealing with the truck drivers.
Big one. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That does the same thing. I was doing some research on that and was looking. We actually, if they're watching, we actually sent emails to the truckers and to the Bikers Against Trafficking to get information and to possibly get them on the show so we could extend this conversation out, because you think you have different stories from different views. You know what I mean? Like you got Tone that's on the ground putting in that groundwork, that's out here. You know, he's basically like the Cape Crusader in Detroit.
Yeah.
Trying to do as much as he can. And like I said, I talked to Tone earlier, man, and I have the conversations that I have with this man. I have nothing but general respect for them. You know, even though I've never actually seen him in person, but just by the conversation that me and him have, and the way he talks about it, about the stuff that he's out there doing and what he's trying to do, you know, I had no choice but to say, okay, let's get this out here. This needed to be out here. You know what I mean? People need to hear about this. You know, and you're right. Strength is in numbers. You know, it doesn't, but it takes, like I said, how we talk about day in and day out, Bone, it takes everybody. Everybody has to get in and do their part. And like I said, the person who actually sits there and turns a blind eye, you
Yeah.
know, that's your business. But let's just think this could be your kid. This could be
Yeah.
your kid that
Wow.
you've been sitting
That's
here and
deep.
you've been you've been sitting here, you've been checking all their emails and you've been scouting their phones and make sure they ain't talking to nobody. You know,
Hmm.
there's several ways that you can hide this stuff, like that WhatsApp. You can't even trace WhatsApp messages. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you can be on there and you don't even know it, that they're even on here doing this stuff. You don't even, I mean, you have no clue until you wake up one day and your little girl's gone, you know,
Yeah.
and then at that point, then it's like, okay, now what do I do? You know what I mean? Who's gonna help me? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that?
Yeah.
Um, you know, I thought back a few years ago, I knew a couple people that were um, they were talking about different stuff like this, and actually, I didn't even realize that this plays so much into it. But they were talking about, remember back years ago when they was talking about the black market thing, where they was kidnapping the kids and taking different like
Organs.
donated parts like hearts and
Yeah.
kidneys and lungs and stuff like that and selling them on the black
Ambush.
market.
Ambush was just talking about that in the chat. I was just looking at it. She was just saying that.
Right. And a lot of this stuff kind of transcends over to that as well. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
this ain't just a sex thing. This ain't just somebody that's going out there working. Like people looking for actual organs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they want them from them younger kids and teenagers. Why? Because they're young. You know what I mean? They're young, uninhibited, not introduced to drugs or anything like that, and they want them. You know what I mean? It's sad how this goes on. You remember the stories back in the day where you hear when that they had a guy and got him got him drunk, got him out his mind, and when he woke up, he was in a bathtub packed in ice, and they took his
Yeah.
kidney, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like different stuff like that. But I never really thought about that and this being the same thing until here recently when I started reading about all this. I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is this is really what they do. You know what I mean? And it's like it's kind of weird for us because we've never personally had to experience it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this really hits home in a lot of different areas because, like I said, you know what I mean, this could be your kid. You know what I mean? I got
Yeah.
teenage kids.
Facts.
You know what I mean? This is the last thing that I would want happen. You know what I mean? And Lord forbid if somebody tried it and I found out who it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the
Facts.
repercussions are going
Facts.
to be for that. So I think this is something that needs to be, like I was telling Tone today, this is one show. Okay. We're gonna talk about it here for an hour or so, and we're gonna
Oh,
push that as much as possible. But this is something that we need to continue to talk about. This has to be an open conversation all the time.
right on. Hang on one second. We got a caller. Hey, caller, I'm going to have you hang on just for a second. We're going to take a moment to hear from our sponsor real quick. All right. But hang on one second, caller, and we'll be right back with you.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Okay, hang on one second, guys. We got somebody calling in. Let's see here. Hey, thanks for calling the Big Bone Yard. You got Big Bone 1%er, Archbishop 1%er, and Tone Poley from RAP. Who's calling and how can we help?
Hi, it's Cinderella. How you doing?
Hey, Cinderella.
Hey, Big Bro. Hey, Sponsor Archbishop. Hey, Tom. This is Stevie Brooks. You know me better as brother. How you doing?
Right on, right on. How you doing?
I'm good. It's raining here. Just enjoying this conversation. So, Tone, I just want to say, ever since I met you on TikTok, you've been an inspiration. I thank you for everything you do, bro. Like, for real, and you inspired me, and I'm serious about getting into it. Speaking of which, let me tell you guys a little story. I already told Bishop. I'm gonna tell everyone else. other ways to look out, and Tone had to tell me this. So while I am out, perusing, trying to get this out there about, this month, human trafficking, I'm posting, adding different Facebook pages and stuff like that, right? I had a gentleman reach out to me on one of my posts regarding this podcast. He said, well, you need to make sure it's international because it happens everywhere. I'm like, absolutely, of course. We know it's not just local. We know it happens all over the world. This gentleman said, because I'm being trafficked right now. I said, you're being trafficked right now. So granted, we on Facebook on a public profile. So I said, well, let's talk in the messages. So he gets in the inbox and he said, yeah, he's in Malaysia. He's being held against his will to do online scams for people. And so this is late at night, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, my time. Tone works overnight. So he's working. I know he's at work. So I'm messaging him. Like, hey, this dude is texting me, telling me this situation. He like, be careful. That sounds like a scam. Because how did you get a phone? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to look out for.
Sure.
And I asked him, I said, well, how are you able to communicate with me? And how are you on public profiles and do this?
Right.
Oh, but everyone is asleep. And I'm in another room. It's Malaysia.
Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning our time. So it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon their time.
Right.
So you're lying to me.
Right.
So, and ever since then, he's been continuously messaging me. I just want to let you guys know there's different ways now they're trying to entrap you. And speaking of which, Archbishop said, speaking of the WhatsApp, because they can't trace it.
Right.
He tried to get me to go over to WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? So that's something else, you guys, that you need to look for. And another thing I was looking at, you guys know Andrew Tate, the influencer, him and his brother. That was a big profile case that's still going on now, right?
Right.
So a lot of the girls are coming out now saying that the way they approach them is by jumping in your inbox saying, hey, beautiful, so-and-so. Gentlemen, let me tell you, ladies, sometimes I see a lot of men say they jump in women's inbox with that, hey, beautiful, and a lot of women deny them or whatever, because that's one of the ploys they try to bring you in. So don't take offense, gentlemen, if you jump in a woman's box saying, hey, beautiful, and they like, get out my inbox.
Right.
Okay?
Right. No, this is good to hear.
And and you know what? Listening to you guys make me think of something that you don't really think about, like putting two to two together. When I was younger, I remember a random woman called my house, and I just so happened to pick up the phone. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. They were just asking me questions. I'm 8 or 9. I'm naive as hell. What's your name? What school do you go to? Just asking me questions, and I'm just answering. Right. And then my mama just came and said, who are you talking to? And just, I don't know if that was what, but what if that's someone trying to get me and kidnap me?
Yeah.
But you guys got to watch your kids. And when social media being so ready available, like stop giving these little kids tablets, let them play games, go outside and play Red Rover, come on over. But they don't do that nowadays. Yeah. And that's why it's so accessible to people like that.
Well, it's and this is just a me opinion, but I kind of feel like what's happened is the generation that's raising these little kids came up with a completely different way of thinking than folks of a certain age. They're like really lackadaisical with letting these kids do some of anything. I see, no kidding, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids with cell phones doing whatever. Mom and dad ain't even checking in on it. Yeah. If dad is even around, because like Chris Rock said, if the baby is calling his grandmama mama and his mama Pam, guess what? You ain't saving college money, you saving bail money. But that is the same kid. That's the same kid that's going to be completely set up to be trafficked or grabbed up or anything else, because that kid has way too much. A child at those ages they do not have the wherewithal to understand the sort of attacks and the sort of plotting that these people are. They're targeted, but they don't have the ability to understand that. And these folks that are letting these kids do just any damn thing, they're setting their kids up for failure and for destruction and for death, really.
Yeah, let me tell you one better. Because, you know, y'all know, if y'all know me or see me on Facebook, I'm a Call of Duty freak.
Yeah.
I play Call of Duty like nobody's business. But at the same time, when you get on Call of Duty playing online, you might be playing with little children. And that's another way they can get them and be like, oh, these grown people, let me start a conversation, or let me pretend to be a little child and, hey, I'm a little kid too. I don't meet up sometime, damn it. You know, something like that. It's just,
what's your address?
You have to
Where do you go to
that
school?
as well.
Yeah. What's your address? Where do you go to school? Austin,
they continue, or get your phone number.
Austin Turnbull just asked a great question. He said, so what should someone do to help someone in a sex trafficking situation? Just curious, because we all know that most bikers won't dial them 3 numbers. And that's a fact. Say again?
We didn't dial them 3 numbers when we got them 3 girls.
Yeah.
We didn't dial them 3 numbers. We took it upon ourselves because the police ain't going to do anything. Sorry.
Yeah. And look, and real talk, not that we're advocating breaking the law or anything like that, but but look, if somebody is in need of help, most states have a Good Samaritan law where you have more latitude to help someone that's in a precarious situation. If y'all remember a while back, that one guy who ended up, I guess the guy ended up killing himself or whatever. He had those 3 girls locked in his house for years and years and years, the Spanish dude, and he had those three women. And the one that helped the girl made her way to the door, and that crazy looking black dude, and of course they had to put him on TV, but they had that dude, he kicked the door in and everything else and got those women out of that house. And of course, there was no prosecution or anything else like that. Someone needed help. He identified it and he helped them. Even though he looked all kinds of crazy, guess what? He saved 3 people's lives. And sometimes, and look, for us bikers, yeah, we don't call them numbers, just like was said. We don't call them 3 numbers, Austin. But you know what? You got common sense. You know when somebody's in trouble, you know when to help them. And I'll say it like that so that, you know, if you're a biker, Austin, you know how we get down. You know, handle your business. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Let me refer to my counsel because archbishops keep me from putting my foot in my mouth. Is that cool?
No, I agree with what you're saying. No, I was just about to say good Samaritan law or not. If you see something that's going on, me personally, I see something going on. I mean, I'm gonna deal with the situation then.
That part.
So what? You come in. Okay, so the cops come in later because I done whipped his ass out here on the street and you arrest me. Okay, cool. But I guarantee when I go to the courtroom tomorrow, I'm like, okay, this and this took place and I seen it. So I whipped his ass until y'all got here. You think I'm going home? You know what I mean? I ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you think about it.
Right.
People go to jail for a lot. People go to jail for a lot less shit. You know what I mean? So, at least if I'm gonna go to jail, I'm gonna go to jail for something worth going to jail for. Not just a little penny ante crazy shit that goes on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Make it
worth a reason for going.
Yeah. My father used to say that all the time. You got to go to jail, make it worth it. You know. Anyway, Elisa Reddick, aka Ambush, just said, shout out to Helen Brown out of Mississippi. Wait, is that Mississippi or Missouri? I always forget that. That's Mississippi. She has an organization called No More Tears. She includes the bikers. She's an officer that works with human trafficking. So that's a thing that we need to hear more about. We definitely need to see more of that because I don't care how much money these guys have. Unfortunately, there's some officers who they'll take the money and look the other way. Or sometimes in cases like you were just saying, Tone, sometimes they participate in that fuckery. You know?
Yes, they do.
We got to. All of them have to be held accountable. All of them.
Yeah.
But more important than holding them accountable, we have to protect these kids and these women.
Well, yes, me and Tone was talking earlier. When me and Tone was talking earlier, we was talking about now. You know, I was out of town this weekend. I was down in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right on.
And we were he didn't know I was in Memphis though. We were sitting there talking and we were just saying, like, just yesterday, there was 5 black children. They got abducted just yesterday in Memphis.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This is the problem. There's a big situation. There's a big situation right now in Memphis. That's being very looked over. I did a video. That's how I met a lot of people on here. That reason I'm doing this is because of the Memphis video. Okay.
Yeah.
There was 11 kids within a week and a half radius, week and a half radius in the same location in Memphis that are missing. All Black children. If you look at the times and the dates, it's all in the same time and date. The age range was from 12 to 17 years old. No older people, no older adults, nothing. And it was all in the same location in Memphis. And now the five been missing is in a different part of Memphis, but it's the same proximity of each other, these 5 kids. The officials, public officials, government officials, police, they're not doing anything. They're not. One lady called when I did that video. One lady called the Memphis Police Department, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we're too busy. We got to look over it. Literally said that to her. We'll look over it because this happens all the time. This is what I'm saying. This is the biggest problem we have, is trying to get our local community leaders, our government, and our public servants involved and find the right ones to get involved. You know what I'm saying? You got to vet these people. You got to do background checks on these people. If you're connected in your local neighborhood, ask about these cops or these government officials, because somebody in your neighborhood knows who this man or woman is. Somebody knows. Vet them.
So, let me ask you a question. The girls that you rescued last week, did you find out how they got abducted in the first place?
No, I didn't find out about that. I didn't. I know the one that got transferred from Mississippi was an online thing. I know that one. She told her story. She said she met somebody on Tinder. She wanted to run away from home. She acted like she was 18. When she talked to him on the phone, she told him, well, I'm only 16. And he's like, that's fine. I'll pay for your bus ticket. You can come here. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. He went over there. He got her. And, 11 months. And
no, I'm sorry. Where have you heard, like, when they get these girls and these kids, where do you hear most frequently that they end up? As far as where do they end up? Area, where are they putting them?
Usually in hotels. And the funny thing is, it's usually, everybody thinks it's the dreariest hotel or like the most horrible. No, it's not. You go into some of these nicer hotels and mid-level hotels, they're actually there. Yeah, on the lower, like in Detroit, we have a lot of motels over there that are like half a star. It'd probably be 0 stars, but you got to give it something. And like you can like read the comments. This is what I do. Like when I look at hotels, I read the comments for these rundown hotels on the reviews. I read that. 9 times out of 10, when you're looking at these hotels, there's somebody mentioning something. A lot of traffic going in and out with women or young women. It's a lot of motels, a lot of after hours in your neighborhoods. There's a lot of after hour clubs here in Detroit. A lot of after hours, they're there. It's a lot of strip clubs. A lot of strip clubs too. A lot of strip clubs. That's where you look.
Bikers don't go to strip clubs though. That never happens. Okay.
Ding dong. Oh God. My people are good. My people over here, half of the bikers I know, like the Highwayman MC and all that, they're either bouncers at the strip club or keeping security at the strip club. You know what I'm saying? I've had calls about some shit from a couple of the Highwaymen over here in Detroit talking about it. He's like, something seemed shady. And this was a couple years ago. He said I had to quit because it was shady. These girls didn't look 21 years old or 19 years old, or you know what I'm saying? It's a big problem. And there's another take. There's another take too. I want to Bishop, I mentioned this earlier to you as well, about a certain community. We need to stop focusing on the LGBTQIA community, because they have a media hype right now that they're the one taking our kids and grooming our children. But they don't want to talk about the 1,700 priests and bishops in the last year and a half. They don't want to talk about the politicians in the last 10 years.
Matt Gaetz.
9,001. Yes, exactly. 9,131 politicians in 10 years have been caught.
Mm-hmm.
They're killing one community because they think they're doing something, but the other communities are actually doing it. And that's dangerous rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? You can agree, you can disagree with the whole LGBTQIA community, but when you put that hateful rhetoric, they're killing these people. They're killing that community off because everybody thinks they're groomers, or everybody thinks they're pedos, or everybody thinks that. We need to focus on our local community. We definitely need to. And I don't know, man. It's something needs to change. Like, we have to have a discourse. We have to have a positive discourse about this and start talking to people and connecting with people in every state.
Facts. Hang on 1 second, fellas. We got a call.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling the Big Bone Yard. You got Big Bone 1%er. You got Archbishop 1%er, and we got Tone Poley up here. Who this?
Yo, this is Beans out of Washington. What's up, brother?
Beans, what's up, man? What's up, brother?
Shit, man, just wanted to give you a shout out, you and Archbishop, and see y'all soon.
Man, hey, that's what's up, brother.
What's
Looking forward to
going on,
seeing you, man.
brother?
Looking forward to seeing you.
No doubt, brother. Be real soon.
All right, brother. That's what's up. All right, man.
All right,
hey,
no doubt, brother.
Love and respect, brother.
Hey, no doubt.
Yeah, sometimes we get personal calls. You don't know. But no, man. I tell you what, I appreciate hearing from, and while we've been talking, there's been a lot of messages coming in, a lot of comments, and the good news is that people are paying attention. The thing that we need to do better, everybody who's watching this show, seriously, make it your business to share this episode. I don't care if you never do it again, but this episode, folks need to know about it. Folks need to hear about what they need to do to try to do their part as far as human trafficking. Let's see, we got somebody giving us a call. Looks like an Orlando number, but let's see.
I think that's my auntie.
Okay. Hey, thank you for calling the Big Bone Yard. You got Big Bone 1%er, Archbishop 1%er, and Tone Poley from RAP. How can we help you tonight?
Good evening, Mrs. Wiggles.
Miss Wiggles,
How
hey.
we doing?
How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you all?
Good.
We're doing good.
I wanted to share with you guys, trafficking is more than most people think. I work in human trafficking every day.
Okay.
Right here in Florida, and I say it every day. Most of my clients are people that have been trafficked by their family members.
Wow. Okay.
The part that they were talking about when they were talking about that people are kidnapped, it happens, but most of the cases are people that are trafficked by family members. I literally just had a federal court case where the dad in Seminole County was given 95 years because he was doing it with his own daughter as well as foster kids.
Oh my God.
So, yes, our youngest victim was 3 months old, but he got 95 years. So it's more so where it's somebody that they know that's trafficking. And people think, oh, well, that's prostitution. No, it's called trafficking because a person at age 18 or under cannot consent to having sex with anybody in the state of Florida. Right. So anytime y'all want to have somebody talk about trafficking, I'm a part of the task force in 3 different circuits. Let me know.
Oh, look, don't play. We're going to stay plugged in because this is something we're not going to go away until this goes away. So we might be here for the long haul. So
I was going to say, yeah.
But look,
and Wiggles, thank you for what you're doing, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Miss Wiggles.
Oh, no.
Thank you for doing your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Man, thank you so much. But no, hey, that was good to hear because, good and bad to hear. Good to hear that we got somebody, a good, solid individual who's working in that environment to help folks. It's sad that we would even have to need somebody to do that job. That's the heartbreaking part of it. It's like, and then what she said, as far as family members being responsible for doing this to other family members, oh man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like they said, sometimes blood can't be trusted. Yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? I had,
You
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I alluded to the fact earlier that when there's addiction and things like that of a caregiver, that's a thing that folks have heard about, but it don't matter why, drug addiction or not, to do that to anybody, especially a family member, is just reprehensible. It's just the most disgusting thing that there is. But again, I guess I just really want to put it out there that everybody that's watching, like, follow, share, do that. We talk about that a lot, but for real, this is a thing. Like, follow, share this video. Make sure that other folks know about it. This is a conversation that folks need to know about. And and it takes you 2 seconds to hit a couple of buttons. You know what I'm saying? Put that out there because people need to know. This ain't about me. It's not about Archbishop, even though I'm really, 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 really better looking than him. I keep telling y'all, nobody believes me. But no, but for real, let's put this word, let's put the word out there and let folks know that this human trafficking thing, it's something real. There's plenty of folks who, given the opportunity, would do their thing. You're looking at 3 of them right here who will go knock on the door or some other things that we won't say on the air to make sure that those folks that need the help are going to get the help. So y'all help us, and let us help you. Y'all help us. This is a thing we can do. This is literally one of those things that we need to do together. Tone, am I lying?
No, you're not lying. You're not lying at all. This is we need to come together because we keep fighting with each other. We're not going to fight for the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And this is where we got to be like, you know what? This is our future. This is what we need to do. This is who we need to protect because if they take our future, they take us. You know what I'm saying? We need people boots on the ground to really start studying your local environment, start studying everything in your community, start studying. You know what I'm saying? From organizations that help out to people you suspect that are running with stuff, to start setting up decoys. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to take a community. It's going to take a community. And when a community does it, 9 times out of 10, another community will see this and they will start following suit. And it can be a wildfire of people that are actually out here doing this. And Cinderella said something too. So the number one biggest trafficking is labor trafficking is number one. Labor trafficking is number one. In Nebraska last week, they found 50 migrant children working the midnight shift at a meat cutting factory, and they were being trafficked. And these kids range from 11 to 16 years old, and they were migrant children. We do have a problem with migrant children over here because migrant children, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Look at the detention centers. Last year, there was 1,113 young migrant children taken from that system, from them detention centers, and they don't know where they're at.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that's, on the border, especially Texas, the Texas border is very crucial right now. A lot of human trafficking is going on between that border. A lot of it has to do with the cartels. You know what I'm saying? The cartels that run from California, Texas, Mexico, all those right there. They're working with so much government over here. They're working with all the government officials. And I don't care. No, you can tell. Like, you can literally tell that they're in their pockets.
Yeah, I hear you. Because I think that has to have something to do with it, because these cats, a lot of these dudes are working with a certain amount of impunity. Like, they do this happens so frequently, they can't be that worried about law enforcement or getting arrested or being prosecuted or any of that, because they're doing it all the time, And don't get me wrong, I understand the ideology of the criminalistic mentality or whatever, but there's certain things, certain morals tell you, hey, that's not a thing to do. But no matter what crime you're doing, there's always some fear of, oh man, what if I get caught? And so you see those things happen based on opportunity or based on a variety of different things. This is different. This is where you take a whole other human person, remove them from where they are, make them bend to your will, take them to a whole other place, and all of this stuff. This is one of the worst things that there is. And yet these cats are doing it all the time. Children, one of the most coveted people in society, they're taking kids like it's cool. That means
Yeah.
somebody's co-signing that shit. Somebody's co-signing that shit and it needs to stop.
Yeah, they so if Bishop, I don't know if you see my video about last Tuesday about when I went to the trafficking center. So every Tuesday I go to an awareness center. I've heard some of the most brutal stories from these survivors. Some of the most brutal stories. I'll tell you one that really hit. So last Tuesday, a young girl, she got rescued. She got out of that life. She was a teenage mother. She was at a gas station. She had her baby in the back of the car. She was pumping gas. Two men approached her. Knocked her out at the gas station, put her in the car, took the baby out of the baby seat and threw the baby in the dumpster.
Oh, damn.
She trafficked for 2 years. Her story was one of the most brutal stories I've heard in my life, because for 2 years and up until now, now especially, she don't know if her baby's alive or dead. Or they took that baby as well. You know what I'm saying? This is when I say our youth is being taken away from us. Our youth is being taken away from us with no regrets at all. These people don't care. They don't care who they hurt. There's a good movie on Netflix. It's more of a true story. It's a true story based on a true story. It's called Noise, about a mother who lost her daughter. And it's literally one of the most brutal representations of what's going on in this world, all around the world, because this is global. $251 billion business last year.
So, fellas, so let's do it like this. What if, and I know we've thrown out some suggestions and all like that, but so what are we gonna do right now to start working on this? I mean, I got some ideas. I know what I'm gonna do. Archbishop's got some ideas what he's gonna do. Tone, you're already doing it, but what kind of stuff should we do right now to start curtailing this, changing this, and trying to save some of these folks, man?
Start talking to your community leaders. Start talking to the people inside of your community. Start asking if you can do outreaches. You know what I'm saying? Start asking if you can start checking your local motels or hotels. I don't know if you have the community, but also start looking at those massage parlors you talked about.
Yeah, sure. And
You
I
know what
don't know what those are, but
no, me neither. I don't know. I just seen it on a movie one time. It was pretty cool. But no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta check. You have to check your schools.
Yeah.
If you know anybody that has spare time around the schools, a lot of abducted children and the trafficking business are taken from our schools as well. You also see these teachers are starting to really mess with the children too. And it's disgusting. So what we need are people that are going to work outside of the schools, keep security. You know what I'm saying? Start vetting who your teachers are, the board, the administration of these people in the school. All it is you have to investigate your community. You have to be diligent and investigate your community. Go to chair meetings, go to all that, and start using your damn voice. Every one of us has a voice. If we speak loud enough, we will be heard.
Man, you know what? I believe you. I'm going to ask for, I'm typing something I'm going to put in this damn thing. Hey, so what I'm going to ask y'all to do, I'm asking y'all to do an awful lot tonight. But what we want y'all to do, I'm just begging all over the place. I feel like Keith Sweat with my begging tonight. But what I'm begging everybody to do is share this video, like and subscribe and all that old good stuff. But this is a very important topic. So share this video, put it in front of as many people as you can. Use the hashtag, the Big Boneyard, on this thing so folks can get plugged in and start following what we're talking about here. I'll say for myself, hey, I already pound the ground. I mean, well, poor Anubis, that's my motorcycle, Anubis. Anubis is sick of my shit from just hadn't had a bath in 3 months. I need to wash my motorcycle, but hey, I'm riding that motorcycle all over everywhere, and I get to see stuff that other folks don't. So I'm charging myself with doing what I'm asking everybody else to do. Archbishop, me and him, we have this thing about we ain't gonna ask nobody else to do nothing that we don't do or can't do or haven't done already, right? That's about right, ain't it? So what you think, AB? We gonna do this thing or what?
Oh, absolutely. I was like I said, I've been talking to Tone since last week, And when we had our first conversation, you know, a lot of the stuff that he was dropping that day, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I didn't, you know, I knew bits and pieces, but I didn't kind of put it all into perspective the way he did. And once he started explaining all of it, it really struck a nerve with me, you know, and it was like, okay, we definitely need to get this out. This is a subject that needs to be put out, not only, you know, to to make people aware, but for them to actually wake up and start paying attention to what's really around them. You know,
Right.
they you know, hindsight is 2020. You know, and I always, you know, I told you a couple times, Bone, you can't be um 2020 in my business, but Stevie Wonder when it comes to yours. You got to pay attention to everything. You know, so
See,
that's
Archbishop
what.
be dropping them gems, y'all. He be dropping them gems.
Yeah, so you know,
He kills me
I
with it.
think we all as a collective effort should do what needs to be done. Whether you know this, a lot of stuff that we talk about, yeah, we talk about it and we put it in the perspective of Micah's perspective, but this is a universal perspective. You know,
Right on.
once I come in the house and I take my rags off or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm still a biker, yes, but I'm also a father. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm also a true alpha male out here outside these doors. You know what I mean? So, you know, what you the respect that you have out here, you gain it by the works that you do. Okay.
Yeah.
This is, you know, and a lot of the works that you do is for no actual benefit for yourself.
Right. Right.
That's where integrity comes in at, because your integrity falls when you're doing something without any gain for yourself whatsoever. This is this is something that I wouldn't have a problem doing under under any situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would run up in somebody's crib. I'd run up in a hotel room or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I
I've done
mean?
it
I
allegedly.
ran up in them. I mean, right. That's what I'm saying. I don't ran up in them for other reasons. So, you know what I mean? I would sure
Hmm.
run up into it if I knew something like this. But this is something that has to be everybody needs to like really, really pay attention to this because, you know, it really doesn't grasp people's attention until it hits home.
Yeah.
That's when everything starts to make sense is when it hits home. You know what I mean? And that's when they say that's when shit gets real. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
shit's been real for a long time. You know what I
You
mean?
said something a minute
And
ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
like I said, shit's been real for a long time. The thing is though, what you know, if we could stop one person,
Hmm.
if we could stop one person from taking a child or two off of these streets, that's a huge accomplishment because you think that one
Yeah.
person was probably online luring another 10, 15 people. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
when Cinderella was on there, it was talking about how people come on there and say, you know, hello, beautiful, or whatever. Now you think
Yeah.
about that. Somebody may send hello, beautiful text to 50 women.
Hmm.
Only two reply. That's a positive. That's
Yeah.
two to the good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yep.
So you're not looking for a mass response. You're looking for a couple people because them couple people that answered, you know, they know damn well they don't know you, but they answered you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You're in
Which
the right
opens
mind
up
frame.
right, which
You're in the
opens
right
up that
mind
line of
frame to be.
communication
Yeah.
and that entertainment. So there you go.
Yep. You said something a little earlier that reminded me. There's this movie called Mississippi Burning, and you were saying, hey, when it comes to home, hey, now it's hitting home. You made a few different references to it, but what the dude in that movie, Matthew McConaughey, said at one point, he was talking to the jury, and he says, "Now close your eyes," and he described all the torturous things that happened to that little girl. And he had the people close their eyes and think about it. And he says, "Oh, and they're tearing their clothes off and they're doing all these things and da 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 da." And then he said, "Now imagine that little girl is white." And the people said, like, oh Lord. And it hit home for them. So I guess if I was to play Matthew McConaughey a little bit, I'd say, hey, all those horrible things that we're talking about, the things that we know happened to these women and these children, what if that was your child? Seriously, man, what if that was your child? That's your child? That would tear you apart. So do something for somebody else's child. Do what you would want somebody to do for your child and save them. Save them. And folks say, oh, why is he talking all this old stuff? Da, 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 da. We're just bikers. Man, bikers get a lot of shit done. Bikers get a lot of shit done, and y'all know it. So don't pretend like it's not the case. Bikers get a lot of stuff done, and all you got to do, get on your bike, ride your shit, look around, pay attention to a couple of things. It won't kill you, but it might save somebody else. So I'm begging y'all to please do this, because this is important. I think we should really all dedicate ourselves. You know, I'm going to shut the hell up, because I'm going to get off of Tone's soapbox for a minute. I get excited about this because this is this subject hits hard, right? It hits hard. So, but I'll tell you what, and there's so many folks that's telling us, there's telling a lot of feedback from everybody on here. Mikkel Johnson's telling us some things about that was Samuel Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. Pastor Troy was saying yes to Cinderella. Cinderella was saying, please, this is a good one. She said, please stop over sexualizing these children with the way that you dress them and putting the makeup and the hair and the way that you allow them to speak. These are kids. Let these children be children. You know, not that that's an excuse for anybody to do anything to anybody's kid, but it damn sure ain't helping. You know, let these kids be kids. But man, I'm going to shut the hell up. We've been at it for about an hour and a half tonight, and I think we really hit just a lot of really good points. And I just can't say enough to please share this information, share this show with everybody that you can. Go to your timeline on your Facebook, forward this, share it, all that. Folks need to see this. But in the meantime, Archbishop, take us out, and if you could please use them cussing words like you be saying at Tone, because you know Tone's funny acting, man. You got to talk to him the way.
No, the only thing I'm gonna
razzle dazzle. That's what's up.
No, the only thing I was gonna say was that, you know, like I said earlier, this is a conversation that we had today. Okay, this is just an hour and a half conversation, but this isn't over. You know what I mean? We're going to be back on here. We're going to have Tone on here. We're going to have a couple more people on here. So like I said, if you got representatives from the truck drivers, you watching this, send us a feedback. Let us know. Bikers Against Trafficking, you watching this, drop us a link so we can get in touch with you. We'll get you on this show. This isn't something that we can just do a one show, one hit a quitter and walk away. Right. This is something that has to be brought up into your attention. It has, you know, it's not like, okay, we put it up and then you never hear about it again. That's what the problem is now. It's only been brought up every now and then. It's not being brought up to where it resonates in people's minds. It's okay, this is real. This is what's going on. Don't let it be something that happens to your house, inside your house, in order for you to pay attention to what's going on right now. So we're not going to stop this. You know what I mean? This is going to continue. We're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to continue to bring people on here to talk about it. And when people get caught or women get saved, we're going to talk about that too. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can get a couple of people on here to actually talk about their stories and what they went through and how it all came about. You know what I mean? This is stuff that you know, it's not just about what people need to hear. It's about what needs to resonate in your mind, so that you know, like, you got to know how another person felt. You know what I mean? You have no idea what these people done went through, the trials, the tribulations, the mental and physical that come along with that. You know what I mean? Nobody would never really understand that. You know what I mean? People go through their own different stages. Oh yeah. So we have this platform, you and I, Bone. And we need to make this platform speak for something. It has to speak for something. Oh yeah. If not, we just wasting our time. So these are the stories that we're going to talk about, because this is the stuff that's important.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, the thing I think about a lot is we've got this community, a great community. Like I was at I did the COC meeting today. It did my heart good to hear how many people, I mentioned it, I didn't go into no great dissertation about it, maybe a whole 2 minutes, if that, about what we was going to be talking about tonight. After that meeting was over, for the next 15, 20 minutes, I had different members from different clubs talking about what is that show and this, that, and other thing, and what's the information, and they're interested, they give a damn. So, and that was just in one COC meeting. And, you know, there's a lot of folks there and everything like that, but they gave a damn. So if those folks give a damn and the folks that's on here tonight give a damn, then I know every biker who gets a chance to hear about this will also give a damn. And more importantly, do something. I'm talking verbs. I'm talking about verbs. That means do something. We got to do something. And the doing something is not going to kill you. I'm like, while you're out there doing the stuff that we already do, just open your eyes, pay attention. You know, we got to get it in. We need to save us. We need to save our kids. We need to save our women. You know, we can do that. Tone ain't going to help us, you know, because he's funny acting. All right.
I'm always I'm funny style.
I might have fibbed a little bit.
And I got you funny style, my guy. No, but look, okay. This is one thing. Bones, Bishop, Cinderella. I really start reaching out to each other because we're all in different states. Start reaching out to each other and see where we can take this to a level where we can communicate and start having more people communicate.
Yeah.
And start making a network of all of us that communicate, that tells these stories, that advocates, that gets out here and puts boots to the ground. Because once they see that there's a collective of us that are raising awareness and out here boots to the ground, and this is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, by the way. So next month, don't let it be a trend like everything else that people want to do. Oh, right. This is a trap. You know, next month we're going to worry about kitty cat petting month. Okay. That's what my PFP is going to be. No, we have to set this in the ground. We have to cement this. You know, I mean, I'm working with a lot of independents over here in Detroit. The RAP movement is my movement. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a leader. I'm just leading the way for everybody else to go do their thing and help out. You know, they say, well, a good leader has other leaders following it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I want to start really, really, really getting in the trenches, And this is my reasoning right here is these children. And I've been hurt as a child too. So I know that pain and I know that trauma, and I don't wish that pain and trauma on nobody.
Right on. Well, man, I got to tell you, I don't have the words to tell y'all. And look, this is still a biker show. Don't get me wrong. But guess what? Bikers care about an awful lot. And you know, hey, bikers, what's the thing? Trick love the kids. Bikers love the kids. They're a little trick daddy thing. But no, look, we love the kids and these women that are suffering. We're out there to help them. And this has been a very important show. And for everybody that took time out of your life to come and join us tonight, I definitely got to tell you, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. And, you know, and y'all keep fucking with us, man. Y'all rock with us. We're going to be doing this every single week. We're going to talk about some different subjects, but this is one that we're going to keep talking about. And I don't care what we're talking about. If somebody knows something, I don't give a damn if we're talking to the damn president of the United States. Y'all jump in here and be like, hey, such and such and such and such is going on. Hit me up. Y'all know how to get a hold of us. It's easy to get a hold of us. Let us know. Let us know what's up. But I'll say my good nights. Archbishop, off to you, sir.
You know what? I'm good. I just want to tell everybody I appreciate every single person that came over tonight. I appreciate every single one that come over here every Sunday. Like I said, I told you back when we did our first show in 21 that we was going to start putting these shows out there that's going to mean something. This is one of them. So we holding ourselves accountable. So I appreciate all y'all for being out there tonight. Like, follow, share, put this out, get this out.
Right on. And look, y'all feel free, even if the show's over, y'all can hit the Facebook page and let's keep this conversation going. Y'all know how to get a hold of us. So y'all got all our socials and everything like that. So don't be shy. If a thing comes up, y'all know this is something we care about. And God willing, y'all do too. But y'all just say the word, man. We're here for you. We got to do this together. In the meantime, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight on the Big Boneyard. And we're going to do this again in about 7 days. We'll be right back. In the meantime, love and respect to all of y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Big Boneyard.
Welcome to the Big Boneyard. Enter at your own risk.
Decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.